Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2026 Meet Your Future Skills for Applications and Interview session as part of our National Careers Week celebration. For those of you that I've seen before, or those of you that I haven't met yet, I'm Jake. I'm part of the Education Work and Skills team here at Greater Manchester Combined Authority. And for those of you that have joined before, you might be aware that Meet Your Future launched in 2019 by Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester. And it's to give young people like yourselves the chance to meet real employers and explore different career pathways across the Greater Manchester City region. Today, we're going to be talking with a close colleague of ours, Aaron, over at RSM Consultancy. But more importantly, we're going to be talking around the financial and professional sectors gateway. It's part of our MBAC gateways here in Greater Manchester. Just some key facts to get us going. So in Greater Manchester, there's around 193,000 people work across the financial and professional sector. The average salary is £40,000, although this is likely going to be lower when you're starting out. And that might be if you're doing an apprenticeship, if you're in a graduate role, if you're in training or working part-time. And a fun fact for you as well. So if you love numbers, tech, business, consultancy, maths, anything that would be relating to that, Greater Manchester has thousands of jobs available in these sectors all across the city region. In today's session, we're going to be hearing from Aaron Bostock, who's an early career specialist at RSM UK. And RSM UK is a leading audit, tax and consulting firm focused primarily on supporting middle market organisations across the UK. I hope this session inspires you and helps you feel more confident about when thinking about your future here in Greater Manchester. And some quick housekeeping. So if you do have any questions today, please make sure you pop the questions in the Q&A box. I'll be moderating them myself so we can get them out to Aaron at the end of today's session. If you'd like some captions or subtitles during the event, please select captions/subtitles in the audio settings. And that should be everything that you need. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Aaron. Aaron, over to you.
Thanks, Jake, and thank you to the Greater Manchester Combined Authority for having us on this session this morning. So good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. We've made it not to the end of just a normal week, but National Careers Week. And as Jake's outlined in today's session, we're going to cover the different skills needed within the workplace and the techniques that you can use to help unlock these skills. I know Jake's just given a quick introduction, but my name is Aaron Bostock and I work in RSM's Early Careers Outreach and Engagement team. So my role primarily involves working with schools, colleges, universities to design and deliver career sessions for students to support them with their career choices. I'm based in our Manchester office, so very familiar with the area, and I've been with the firm for just over 2 years. And the favourite thing about my role, what I enjoy the most essentially, is speaking with a range of different students from all walks of life to help them realise their potential. If we could just move to the next slide, please. Thank you. So I appreciate many of you won't have heard of RSM, and I know Jake just gave a quick summary of who we are, but I just wanted to provide a quick overview of what the business do. So we are a professional services firm who specialise in audit, tax and consulting, and we have a presence not just within the UK, but also globally. So think accountants, tax advisors, consultants. That's essentially who makes up our business. We've got offices in every region. So we span all the way from Aberdeen, all the way down to Southampton. And we have significantly grown over the past few years. And each year we recruit hundreds of people onto our early careers programs. And these are opportunities that provide young people with the chance to kickstart their career and gain a professional qualification. On a global scale, we've got offices in about 120 different countries. As of January, 1st of January, we've just recently merged with our US firm, so over in the States, which creates plenty of opportunity for you to travel internationally, go and do a secondment in a different country. Some of you might be thinking, I'm really interested in doing some travel or visiting other countries, working abroad, leaving the UK. So our early careers programs are a fantastic opportunity for you to do just that. I also just wanted to highlight a couple of the clients that we've got as well. So on screen, you can see a handful of the businesses that we work with and provide services for. Some of them I'm hoping you're quite familiar with. So things like Greggs, Odeon Cinema, Rudy's Pizza, Vimto, American Golf, Superdry. These are all businesses that we give support to for whatever services that they might need. And more often than not, you have opportunities to go and sit on site with these teams. So that means you would go, for example, to Rudy's headquarter in Manchester and actually work with the team there to support them with whatever they need. In my opinion, these are some really cool names which make this workplace really diverse. Every day is different and really rewarding, and gives you a great insight into how different business models and businesses work. So now moving on to the main element of the session, we're going to look at how you can unlock these skills. So it might seem really far off to be making applications to jobs, apprenticeships or universities. And I don't want the main message of today to be all just about preparing and making sure everything's perfect with an application. But it's more just realizing what your skills are and your potential early on, so that it'll put you in a fantastic position when that time does come around. Next slide, please, Joyce. Thank you. So I think one of the most underrated points to emphasize is that being your authentic original self is so important. So it's not just always about technical skills or knowledge, but it's rather how you carry yourself and demonstrate your potential. So we like to call this your personal brand. So it is, what is it that makes you, you essentially? Each of you sat there will bring a unique set of skills, expertise, knowledge, and understanding to whatever it is that you do. You'll have different passions and interests, which are unique to the individual person. Now, to help you understand what your personal brand is, some of you might not have heard of this before and might actually be thinking, I'm not too sure how I can understand what mine is. We can break this down into the following three areas. So firstly, who you are. So what are your values and what is it that you believe is right or wrong? What is it that makes you unique? So what key skills, attributes or traits do you have that set you aside from other people? Are you great with people? Do you thrive working within detail? You might not know this now, and that's okay. I certainly didn't know this early on in my education, but you'll discover these unique traits through your studies and any other activities that you get involved with, such as a sports team, musical band, or anything extracurricular alongside your studies. And finally, thinking about what motivates you. So what is it that you are interested in or driven by? So what is it that gets you excited? It might be working with people on projects, or within specific markets. Are you passionate about the food and drink sector, for example? Or are you interested in marketing and design, social media? Loads of questions just to consider about what it is that inspires you. Think about what's going to motivate you and want you to give 100% in everything that you do. And to further demonstrate your personal brand, we can consider how we engage with other people. So our businesses, like many others, are built on creating and maintaining relationships with other people and clients. So whilst our focus might be around finance, this knowledge isn't necessary to be successful onto our early careers programs. Interviewers are often looking for how you express yourself. So things like your body language, your tone of voice, your eye contact with the interviewer or the camera or whoever it is that you're speaking with. You've got to imagine essentially that you would be an interviewer and you're thinking, does this young person demonstrate passion, potential, and a willingness to learn? And all these signs of engagement will just feed back into that authentic piece, and demonstrate those passionate skills as well. So just moving on to the next slide. So we've considered kind of what might make up our personal brand and how we can start to think about that, and also what engagements might look like. But I wanted to demonstrate how we could use this using the STAR technique. So this might be a very, very new method for a lot of you, and you might not have come across it before. But I think the best way to explain this method is to draw upon an example. So a lot of the time, interviewers will expect this example in an interview or any application processes just to really get out those skills and to demonstrate what your potential is. So we can break this down into the STAR being situation, task, action, and the result. So I want us to think that we are asked about a deadline being brought forward on a project, and the interviewer wants to know how you would handle the situation. So they're not necessarily asking for you to say what you've done in the past, they're asking you to describe what you would do in future. However, it's going to be really beneficial for you to bring in any previous examples to really demonstrate how you would do that going forward. So I'll bring in a personal example from my own career. So a few years ago, I worked within a car finance brokerage. I was processing customers' applications so that their finance was approved and they can collect their new vehicle. So on one afternoon, it was 3 p.m. and the customer suddenly needed to collect their vehicle sooner than we originally anticipated. This was just to help them with any work or childcare responsibilities. So that was my situation. That was me outlining what the context was in that environment. My role was to complete all the checks and documents and get the file sent into the financial lender. And I wanted to ensure that the customer was able to collect their vehicle as soon as possible. That was my task. The actions I took to achieve this were reorganising my workload, communicating with my team, and following up to the lender to explain the situation and create a little bit of urgency on their end so that I knew I'd done exactly what I could do within my role. I was also really passionate about providing the customer with an excellent customer service and helping alleviate any worries that they might have had about not having a vehicle. And the result was that the finance was paid the same day and we were able to transfer the funds to the vehicle dealership before 6 p.m. So the customer was able to collect their vehicle the next day. And just to take this one step further, so that plus reflection piece. Upon reflection, I learned I was able to manage my time effectively, communicate with the lender and the customer, and maintain strong attention to detail. So this is a really effective technique just to highlight any skills that you might have and develop a potential going forwards. And next, we're just going to look at a few scenarios and highlight what skills would be needed in each situation. So this scenario, so we're working on an audit for a client with a tight deadline, and your team members all have different areas of expertise. You need to pull all of this information together quickly and deliver the final report on time. Here, we're demonstrating time management, teamwork, and communication. We've got a deadline to meet, we need to work as a team, and we need to be able to communicate so that we're all feeding into each other's strengths as well. Moving on to the next scenario. So your team has been asked to present to a client. You have the data, but it's technical, and you need to make it clear and compelling for the client to understand. You must also anticipate any questions that they may ask. So communication here, problem solving, and attention to detail is going to be really important. And finally, another scenario is a client is unhappy with the initial results of a project and they're worried about meeting their goals. You need to understand their concerns, produce any possible solutions, and maintain a good relationship with them whilst resolving the issue. So here we want to be demonstrating a premium or customer service, resilience, and conflict resolution to ensure that we're making sure that they're happy with the outcome. And the aim of just going through these scenarios was to demonstrate that each environment will bring a different set of skills that are needed in different situations. Lots of these skills you will already be developing throughout your educational years. Whether you know it or not, that's absolutely fine. But if we just take a minute to consider some scenarios within your own experiences, you'll realise that you've actually demonstrated a range of different skills already. Some key things that I just wanted to highlight from the session this morning going forwards. The main one I wanted to stress was confidence. I understand it's very daunting and it's always a little bit awkward sometimes speaking about yourself and your skills and your strengths, but you've got to remind yourself of your experiences and what your strong areas are. We appreciate that it is hard, it is challenging to know exactly what you want to do, and you don't need to have all the answers and knowing what paths you want to take. But remembering that any application process whether that's an interview or applying to university. These are all excellent opportunities for you to demonstrate and showcase your best self. Remember, there's not a one size fits all. So if anything, be entirely yourself and nothing more. Businesses do thrive when there are colleagues from all walks of life who can bring originality and unique perspectives to whatever it is that they do. This also helps employers see how passionate and engaged you are as well. I just wanted to highlight that we do have some further resources that aren't just specific to our business, but will help you with anything that you might go on to do. So whether making applications to college, if you want to go to university, or if you want to go and pursue an apprenticeship, we have designed something called our employability hub. There'll be lots of information out there, I know, on the government website, but this is essentially just a one-stop shop which has got information on interview guidance, what different career pathways might look like, different qualifications that you could get involved with as well. There's also a preparation hub, so you can complete practice assessments when the time does come, just so you can get familiar with the different ways that employers might assess candidates coming on to any apprenticeships. I know, again, just reiterating my point early on, this might seem quite far away, but just getting a bit of an insight early on is fantastic. And keep an open mind, ask questions, go to sessions, go to events and visit different employers, and just think about what it is that excites you and ignites curiosity as well. But thank you so much for listening. I hope that was helpful, and I'm going to hand back over to Jake.
Amazing, Aaron. Thank you so much for that information, and thank you so much for joining us on today's call. Massive thank you as well for everybody else that's joined the call today to listen to myself and Aaron speak on this wonderful Friday morning. We are going to be sending some follow-up information out, linking those resources to you directly into the classroom. You should also have the pre-worksheet as well that will talk a little bit more around the skills that you can listen to in today's session, and notice how they can be transferable into your own lives. If you've been inspired by today's session, then I absolutely hope you have been. But to further the learnings from today's session, you can always use two of our fantastic digital tools. So we've got the GMAX website, which is the Greater Manchester Apprenticeship and Career Service website, designed to help you plan your future. It's packed full of the tips and advice and information, some of the things Aaron's been talking about today, but it can sort of signpost you to direct resources that you need. Our other tool is the Beeline tool as well, so it's to give you that clear line of sight into those gateways across Greater Manchester. So if you are interested in the consultancy field that we've spoken about today with RSM UK, we can have a look at what your journey needs to potentially look like across the way for that. Before I sign off from today, just a massive shout out to everybody involved, but also if you wanted to find out more resources and you wanted to engage in more sessions that we've got going at the moment, make sure you drop the Instagram and YouTube follow there. So you've got at your GMAX for Instagram, and then GMAX GM for the YouTube page. I hope you all have a fantastic Friday, and please do join us for the next one. Thank you.